So in this video, I'm going to go over the current financial landscape through the lens of 4 distinct groups. Now, if you have been understanding and realizing what's going on, things are not as it seems. And a lot of us want to understand what's really going on out there. What is the financial landscape? What's really going on? Is the conspiracies and all this talk real or not? We're going to discuss this at a very high level. Now, over the years, I have been one who has been heavily interested in the financial sector, doing a lot of investing, different trades and whatnot myself. And I believe that with the research I've done, I have an answer for you. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but I believe based on everything I've seen that I can present to you objectively from a top level, high level point of view, what's really going on today. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do, and these are my opinions, and I'm only giving my thoughts in this video. And with that being said, I believe that this will be highly informative for many of you that have been looking at the world through a certain lens, but to open yourself up to the different other lenses that other people are seeing the economic landscape through. So let's take a look. So I have decided to present this view in a pyramid format, for which the majority of the maybe illiterate or uneducated population will operate, financially speaking, at the bottom normalized level, and then it will go up subsequently. And so you'll see as I go through, but it's good to see the lay of the land and how others are viewing investing, economic circumstances, the outlook, and what's really going on, right? So the first thing from a normalized perspective, and again, these are words that I have made from a previous video where I talk about the 3 audience groups, because what's going on with Trump and these people, everybody from just conspiracy all the way down to factual things that have been communicated from different varying groups, they have all said things that target a specific audience. And this spectrum of being awakened, of being informed and educated is going to move you up sort of this pyramid, right? And the last thing I do want to say is that I know a lot of people will come at me with this speculation group, and you'll see here in a second, but I do want to say off the bat that I'm only up to enlighten. And so whether this speculation is true or not, I put it in quotes. It may be true, it may not, but to me, I am not quite there yet. And I believe I'm still a student of the financial economic realm, even though I had a major in college in economics. So I'm very well versed in some sense with macro and microeconomic conditions and investing, the financial, the business, money management, but I still am a little bit skeptical on some of the things up here. And so again, we'll get to that here in a second. Normalize is anything that has to do with the everyday person, right? They don't need to know investing. They don't need to know about the different metrics and what's going out, GDP and these numbers, but they understand from a microeconomic perspective what is going on with their lives, inflation, wages, right? The labor market. Are they employed? Are they not employed? They'll pay attention sometimes to certain stats like which industry is more unemployed or not? How is each area doing relative to others? How much are they making? What is their spending power? What is their consumer behavior? And so anything with your basic money management, everything from getting money, paycheck to paycheck, money in, money out, all these things, and this rich versus poor and just varying juxtapositions of how you look at life, this is where a lot of people are at, right? A lot of people will not upgrade or graduate above this. And this is sort of their realm. And this is how Trump and many others are targeting these people and showing them, look at what Biden's doing, look at what Trump's doing. And this is how a lot of people are waking up. And I'm not saying that you can't get to awaken, but a lot of the quote unquote educated people, the quote unquote, whether you're left or right, whatever it is, the day traders, the Wall Street traders, the investors, the long term, the short term, all these guys, they operate in this realm. And this awakened realm is where you believe that as you have upgraded to a higher sort of state of being aware of this illusionary economy, so to speak, this is sort of the sandbox that a lot of people in the world are playing, right? So everything from monetary and fiscal policy, all of, and we're not going to go to history, 1871, we're not going to go through the gold standard, Nixon, changing this, everything that we know now in the system that we are in, people are operating, investing, making money, doing business, transactions, all of it is majority in this state. So people are thinking, okay, yeah, the interest rates and how the government and the Federal Reserve, they will make certain decisions, which is monetary fiscal policy and fiscal policy, the government and all that. Whatever they do, this is going to affect the economy. Interest rates, government spending, taxes, all of these somehow trigger, pull levers, they're catalysts for certain things. And this is how people view the world and the economy. Wall Street bankers, big corporations, people will look at the macroeconomic conditions, the financial markets. This is where people will say they are advanced in the literacy. They'll look at corporate earnings, innovation, and what's going on. They'll look at the housing market. They're going to look at global trade, the Forex. They're going to see the power of the dollar, if it's weakening, if it's strengthening relative to other currencies. Japan is going through a big thing right now. Looking at manufacturing, what's being outsourced to certain countries, the economic theory of specialization, imports, exports. So all of these things are contributing globally to what is the macroeconomic condition and how we view the growth of the economy and society. Geopolitical events, certain things like people talk a lot about Russia, Ukraine. People talk about the gas, the oil in the Middle East, and just various things, crypto and CBDC. And again, I know I'm putting these two in the same sentence, but again, the point here is that these are tangible things that are out there. If you do some research, crypto, including CBDC, everything, whether you look at it as a good thing or a bad thing or an agenda, something else, control, power, all of that doesn't matter. It's just that the area for which it is visibly available to the public, this is where people are operating. And then if you do some more research and you feel like you are, in the Anon community, for example, like the meme stock community, and people are, talking about like naked short selling, people are talking about the overnight, reverse repos, and people doing the treasury, buying bonds, and just all of these things that people are talking about in the forums, and people that feel like they're educated, they know, payment for order flow issues, the dark pool prints, and just people trading in any realm, whether it's day trading and swing trading, or it's all the way down to the crypto area. There's a lot of crypto people. There's a lot of the NFT and just that whole fad and many things that in this realm of what's tangible in this sort of illusionary economy that has been built up, people are operating their reality in this area. Okay. And so just realize that people will see success, failure. They're looking at, the Bitcoin halving coming up. They're looking at various numbers like GDP numbers. They're looking at inflation. They're looking at all the metrics, the stats, people that on a month-to-month or quarter-to-quarter basis, they'll look at this and make decisions based on that. And so this is where a lot of the majority of the world that feel like they are advanced in their economic or financial literacy, they will operate, make decisions and investments in this area, okay? Now, if you get to the enlightened, in the enlightened is where people talk about stuff that, if you want to say it's conspiracy or it's something else going on, but over time, what we've seen is a tangible, visible sort of clue to what's really going on, okay? And so if you do enough research and you do, have some faith in what people are saying, and you take the credibility of that person, where they're working, and then see what's kind of piece it together and see what's really going on, then this is where you become more enlightened. So this is where people have said like the Treasury took over the Fed, right? So all of the Q stuff and how Trump during that time made some moves. If you look at the debt clock and just these things, people see these clues and how it's moved over, but it's not overtly visible yet. And we had people like, Jan Halper Hayes saying that there were hundreds of plane loads of gold that they took from the Vatican, and Q saying that, or somebody asking on the Q forums, I think post 2619, do we have the gold? And Q saying, yes, gold shall destroy the Fed. And many people like Trump himself saying that we want the US dollar, not the Federal Reserve note, but the US dollar. Now, others are saying that this is a gold-backed US dollar that we will move back to. And I've also said this before, how the Lord has shown me certain things in this area. Others believing that this whole Whitehead operation, the Q operation, is mainly to eliminate the global banking elite and the power, the stronghold that they have over the people and over different countries. Now, if you want to bring in the CIA, you want to bring in three-letter agencies, Mossad and the MI6, and all of these crazy things with regards to how they are dethroning positions of power, people in different countries, the color revolutions and all of that. This is where you're bringing this in, because the IMF and the money that they lend out, this is how people are being sucked into the power of the elite. And so this is what's being dismantled. The US losing the world reserve currency, the BRICS nations coming up with their own sort of alternative non-US focused economic system. So the BRICS are amping up power. You're having the petrodollar not being required by certain countries and just various things that are happening from this perspective. And a lot of countries buying up gold and silver and precious metals. And this is where a lot of people that are researching are talking about how Trump and the White Hats, who is quote unquote the commander-in-chief of this new Republic of America 2.0, if you want to call it that, and Joe Biden is the president of a nullified and bankrupt U.S. corporation. This is something that Jan Halper Hayes, who has worked in government, has actually said on live TV or in a broadcast with one of the British networks, and that this bankrupt U.S. corporation is a corporate entity. Again, if you do some research, formed by the City of London and authorized by the 18th president, Ulysses S. Grant, back in 1871. So this was a big move because, again, we're moving off of this whole trifecta of the DC corporation or the city of DC, the city of London, and the Vatican, this trifecta that has been controlling basically mankind for a very long time. And so we moved off of this. This is why people talk about how when Trump did his worldwide tour back in 2017 and I think through 2018, he was doing and sending certain clues, like stepping in front of the Queen because the Queen had basically given over the power, the Vatican giving over the power, and all of these things. You can do this research yourself, but this is where we are talking about the military and the White Hat operation of dismantling the global banking elite and moving back to a gold-backed US dollar, or at the very least, moving away from the fiat currency, whether that's crypto or something else. We are going to something more tangible and something more historical, meaning that we've done this in the past. And the gold back thing is a heavy movement, whether it's from people that are in the awakened stage or people that are in the conspiracy, the Q, the White Hat operations research. They all talk about gold. And I've said before, along with many people, that what you've got to do, if you don't know what to do at all, you have to have at least some kind of physical, tangible asset that you can, in some sense, put your faith in if you believe that the dollar would crash, the US would lose its world reserve currency, and just whatever the worst case scenario is, that during this turmoil, that something that has stood the test of time is the precious metals. Now, the crypto, people have said certain things. If the power goes out and all this stuff, there's good and bad. I'm for crypto myself, but more importantly, I'm for something that would be worthwhile and it would last. And gold and precious metals and silver is the one thing that people talk about all the time. And this is where I want to plug the sponsor for this video and as well, somebody I've partnered with to help with this. And if you want to get involved with investing in gold, then I would suggest Noble Gold Investments. So this is somebody I've partnered with. You can go to the website below, noblegoldinvestments.com/Chris Yoon. If you go to this link, they will hook you up with gold and silver IRA. You can buy gold with your 401k or IRA. You can also buy physical gold and silver, and you can own this yourself. Now, I've done a lot of research. This is one of the best companies. A lot of others have recommended this. And the link I'm showing you below with Chris Yoon, it also helps me, guys. I know a lot of people have been asking, how can I support you? This is one way that will help me, help you, and help them. And it's a win-win for everybody. And so I've said before that I've been open more to sponsorships and partnerships with companies and organizations that actually will help everybody else out, myself, you, and the company itself. And this is a great time to look into this. And again, fill out this form to get your guide. Somebody will contact you and you guys can have a live agent, a person who is very knowledgeable, and they will hook you guys up with guides on this and what to do. So again, the link is down below. But going back to the last group. So understanding this part requires a lot of research and really digesting the information. But this is the last level, right? And again, I'm not saying this is true or fact. It's just what a lot of people have been saying, which is that you're moving into the quantum state, a utopian future state that many believe is on the horizon, or it already exists, but it hasn't been executed and implemented yet. We have to move away from this old system, and then we can move into the quantum financial system, or other people call it Jazera Nazera. Now, quickly, what Jazera Nazera is that it's paying us back for all the money that had basically been stolen from us in the form of usury tax and income tax and this illegal trading of our birth certificates on the stock market. Now, before you start asking a bunch of questions, look into it. We were basically born, whether in the US or maybe even arguably in other countries, where we were created a straw man account, okay? Where under admiralty law within the US versus the Commonwealth law, we have been given over as assets instead of free human beings. And so this is why we have a birth certificate, we have social security numbers, and for some reason, they're using us as future gains to pay back the debt that we owe or the US owes to London. And basically this whole idea of the bankrupt US corporation has now been defunct, and we're changing over now to this system. And whatever is out there, a lot of people saying that we're not utilizing the airwaves of the quantum realm, for which the speed of transactions is instant and just in real time all over the world. We're not using these wavelengths. Once we do that and we tap into this, then we can be at a huge, fast, new sort of crazy utopian future state. So again, I'm not an expert in this, and I'm not saying that this is real or it's just theoretical or not, but there's a lot of information out there to suggest that people want to move in this area. And this is a white hat led movement because it's free. It's like the blockchain system. It's open and there's nobody that controls it. It allows for free reign of money to be given to the people and the person that owns it. So they won't have control over you the way that you have a social credit system, the score, like what CCP is doing. And even here, how they're controlling your money, censoring you, shutting you down if you don't comply. So this is all, again, speculation, but this is a heavy discussion among those that are in the awakened, enlightened community. But this is a very big, heavy discussion within the realm of those that have been researching deeper things. So again, I want to present this 4-group analysis to you so that you understand what realm you are operating in, such that you can make decisions based on that sandbox that you're living in. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't be operating within sort of the game that they're playing with the normalized and the awakened state. You should educate yourself, but be aware that there's something deeper and bigger, and it requires research, it requires literacy, and it requires some faith to believe in this. So again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what Trump and these white hats are doing. But basically, this is what a lot of people believe. They believe that the white hats, those that are against the elitist global Illuminati type of movement, they are working together with the BRICS, with many countries, in cooperation with the people, with the leaders, and certain technology companies to get rid of this whole control that the cabal has on the people. And we're going to move into something much better. We're going to be given back, paid back our debts and what's due to us. And we're going to move over to some tax-free society that has the gold-backed dollar or some currency that is tangible. It's not going to be fiat. It's not going to be messed with. You're not going to inject a bunch of printed money into the system, and we are going to give power back to the people. So this is what people believe. I'm just presenting it, but I want to lay this out for you and ask you that you pray about how to make your decision, financially speaking. You don't want to just put your money in some bank account. I've said before, look into credit unions, look into other alternative methods of storing wealth, and be ready. Don't put all your money in one basket into the stocks, into one company or whatever it is. Be ready for a lot of things. Diversify if that's what you want to do, into crypto or gold or other places. If you want to still operate and trade and do things and make some money while you're at it, maybe you could consider that. But one thing that I've always recommended to people is to look outside of where everybody else is looking. If everybody is looking one way and they're telling you one thing, you're listening to MSNBC, Jim Cramer, and these guys, then you are not doing things that will be beneficial to you. Because again, there's a track record for some of these guys. And I believe at some point, a lot of things will crash only for it to get better. And so again, I'm not predicting events when things will happen, but be ready with your wealth. You want to protect your wealth. You want to be in a position for which you're not going to lose all your money in wherever vehicle that you've placed all of your assets. So be encouraged, guys. It's a good time. Stay prayed up. Make your decision according to how the Lord is leading you. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.